I love the resurrection of magic. And for a second, I'm just going to turn it a little bit and talk about resurrection actually as an alchemical process, as the alchemical energy that it actually is. Because remember, all the way back to day one, alchemy as also transformation is changing something from one thing to another, right? It's like changing the constituents of a thing to another thing, destroying a thing, making it another thing. I mean, come on, the resurrection is the ultimate alchemist trick. Hello. And as it turns out, this is very interesting. As it turns out, Christ was not the first to resurrect. He kind of was being a copycat, actually. And I don't mean any disrespect. I really Jesus is my homeboy, dudes. I've had experiences with that being that we call Christ. And I used to have dreams of conversations with Jesus, and they were very cool. My experiences is there's just so much love in that being. And what if we could resurrect a little more love today? What if we could alchemize the lower baser energies into love and gratitude and compassion and all of those kind of good things? So he knows I mean no disrespect, but there he was copying Osiris. Do you guys know about the Osiris resurrection? As it turns out, it happened 2,500 years before Christ. And it was very strange because there was a little Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel situation, because Osiris was killed by his brother Set, S-E-T. And then, he did the thing where he disappeared and his wife couldn't find his body. And Isis, and she cried and cried and cried. That's how the Nile was formed, was through her tears, right? Anyway, and so, I mean, this resurrection idea has been happening for a really long time. And the pagans had their resurrection rituals. And it is, in a certain way, it is the phoenix rising as well. If you look at sort of every body of work, there's a resurrection in there somewhere, right? And so what is the resurrection? What is the resurrection? I'm going to share something a little bit personal, and I've never shared this publicly because I always thought it was really weird. So just between me and you, shh, don't tell anybody else, okay? Keep it on the down low. So I am so punchy in the morning. By the way, Marion, what are you doing up? You were the last person I thought was going to be here this morning. Second to me. Oh my goodness. So yeah, normally on the weekdays it wouldn't be a problem, but on Sunday morning is sleep-in time for Megan. So here I am. And on the third day she rose. Whoa. So I was in I don't know what to call it, maybe this healing circle. We were on a mountainside, as I recall, and there was about 20 of us in a circle holding hands, and we had been through some training to peel back the layers, and we were having one of those mystical experiences where we were out of time and space, and we were things were rising. By the way, do you know what resurrection means? To rise again. Right? To rise again. And Becky, I'm really so grateful for you for saying that, because in Live Your Magic, there's something that occurs over the 3 days called Magic Rising. And that's where I see a capacity being ignited, being acknowledged, being turned on, being turned up. And then we have some fun. We use that magic rising as like alchemical constituent to move everybody in the space to a different place in space. Okay. Hey, you know what? I don't think I've ever described that so well before. Good job. Good job, me. Okay. So we were standing around and we were in this really like shifted space. And we had just oh, you know what? I think it was something I was leading. But it culminated. We've been doing, I don't know how many, I don't even remember the class actually, but we ended with on the mountainside because we were doing paragliding. That was our celebration. That was our completion ritual, was paragliding. And I had this direct download that I had a key to the resurrection. And I was like, what the hell is that? I grew up Mormon, which is a sort of a Christian faith, for those of you who don't know. But I left the church probably about 15. It didn't really work for me, that amount of structure, as you might imagine. So, I wasn't particularly religious. I wasn't like against it. I really like just, there was just a different path for me, And yeah, I got mad at it and I fought my dad, and he was a bishop, and, as a teenager. But I didn't really I was pretty neutral about it, right? So it was very strange for that to come through, and I asked another question, and I got that I had the ability to resurrect bodies, right? And then that's like even weirder. But then I think about it, and coming and, being part of Access. I was an Access consciousness facilitator for 3 years, and I'm still, take classes and all of that. And I think that, they helped me turn my magic back on, because for a period of time I got really practical, because I think I got kind of way out in the ethers for a while, and I really worked on body awareness and being present. And then Access really returned me to the molecule play and the quantum world in a lot of ways, and gave me some tools to navigate the quantum, the field of consciousness, if you will. And I don't know even now what that means, other than, last year I almost died twice. And I've been in this process of bringing my body back online, and in more of a practical way. But there's definitely been moments where I was brought back online through an energy transmission, and it just, like, my whole system, the cells, they turned on and up. I have, in my practice over the last 25 years, I've had at least 6 clients who had a life-threatening illness of some sort. And I didn't go in to try to change the illness. I was trying to help them cope with it, But as it turned out, we disappeared it. And so I'm looking back to you guys on, I think it was on day 4, where I talked about the stages of the mystical, like how like what a mystical experience is. And that when we get, and it's basically the experience out of our maps and our time and our space, where we tap this other place, and in that other place, anything and everything is possible, right? And I talked about my period when everything I touched turned to gold, i.e., everything I touched changed in some way or some form. And Um, I don't know where I was going with that. Other than, you know, I kept experiencing that with people, and I kept um, being present when miracles were happening. And that's the other thing you guys gotta remember is that if the magic or the miraculous is occurring when you're standing around there, it has to do with you. P.S. So you've got to own that. I mean, and back to me telling you guys to make a list, please, please, please do. My list, so I told you guys to make a list of the magic. I want to invite you to make a list of the miracles that happened either in your presence or you were connected to it. You put energy into that thing happening. And it's really, really humbling actually to see like how much like we actually do live in the magical and the miraculous. I actually wow, there's something in that. There's an energy there of how much we actually live in the miraculous all the time. But our maps, our linearities tend to crowd it out, you know? Nah. So there's a position in qigong where you put your hands out and you reach for awareness and information beyond. You just kind of reach out and ask for a vision. You ask for something that's beyond what you've imagined before to pop, to open, like what's beyond anything that you've ever imagined for yourself before. And just kind of try that for a second, just kind of, yeah, what's beyond and what's beyond. Yeah. Because I think, and I think, part of living here is the illusion that this is who I am and this is what I do and I go to work and I do this and I'm a mom and I cook and blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's part of the miracle, right? Is that these infinite beings think that this is real. And we fooled ourselves. And in the state of our infinite self, our beingness, all there is miracles, right? And when we don't think a miracle is happening, it's because we're in one of those constructs. We're in one of those maps because we've identified something as wrong or hard, or even the situation right now, right? If you're sitting there fighting against what's happening, on the planet, wishing it were different, being scared or whatever, it's like it's really hard to see what actually is occurring beyond that. Okay, so I know I have about 3 threads going, and I'm going to start one more. So with regards to that, it's so interesting because there's people that are close to me that they're like, when they hear my stories, they're like, why aren't you sharing those in classes and online and stuff? And I don't know. I think it's just they've been very personal to me, but they're coming out now. So you're the first. You're the first to hear some of these stories actually in a public forum. At least I've had a few close people I've told, and sometimes I've told these stories to a client in session when it was relevant. But I was in a ceremony, a medicine ceremony, and in that journey, I was shown this moment. It's a very average moment of life, and for me, very average because it happened all the time. Which is, I was late for work, and I was running around the house like a crazy person, and I ran out to my truck, And I realized I finally got in everything in my truck, because I used to go in and out a lot. I kind of still do, because I was like, oh, I forgot this, and I go back in, and people always tease me. They're like, a third time today, you're back in, and I got all my stuff finally after my 3 trips in and out, and I was sitting in the truck. I was like, where are my keys? Damn it. And I run back out, and I find that my keys had dropped out of my pocket on the ground. So I think I probably looked for them in the house for a while first. And then I went and I picked up my keys, and I got in the car. And okay, it's sort of a stupid thing, right? Like, what can that be? What can that be? So what I was shown was all of the different layers that one moment impacted. Okay. So for those of you who are in Access, something that Gary has said a lot that people don't get is like, he said, ask the question, what will my life be like in 5 years if I choose this? And people go like, if I choose to have a Coke, if I choose whatever it is, small, bigger, and they're like, why would I even ask that question on such a small question as a Coke? And he answered something like, well, or a piece of gum, like maybe you're going to choke on the gum, And there's like this other part to it, which is that I was shown all the different dimensions that impacted, like even just dropping the keys. And that moved time and space, that moved the molecules out. And I was shown all these different things. I was actually shown that there was a high probability that I would have gotten in a car accident, just because I ended up at a different time. There was also something about me being late that was triggering to my client, and they needed to actually unravel that. And so it was like this crazy thing where this very small, seemingly insignificant event had like layers and impact. And it's like, and it was crazy. Like, I can't even express to you in words, because it was one of those mystical experiences, like literally hundreds of things that one little thing impacted, right? And so for me, that awareness is like, oh, there's no such thing as a small choice. It's like the more present we are, the more that we can impact and do alchemy in the smallest of moments, in the most mundane sorts of ways, right? But coming back to the whole miracle thing, like if you get present, this was day 2. You want to know about the being present aspect of alchemy? Go to day 2. When you get present, you can turn anything into a miracle, into magic, right? And I think of magic as applied miracles. I think that magic and miracles are kissing cousins. They dance together. They're not quite the same. And I don't need to, concretely define that, because I don't think you can define either of those words truly. Because when you are in the experience of magic, or when you're in the experience of a miracle, it is the mystical. It is that place outside of our maps, outside of our logic and rationale, where something occurs, or you have an experience that's more real than what we call real out there. So I'm going to pause for just a moment, and I want to ask you guys, what do you know about resurrection? What do you know about resurrection? So, with bodies or with anything, right? And what is that? It's really to activate the life force or to reactivate the life force. So some of you listening might have done Dane's 14 days recently. Dane here's 14 days. And it was amazing. For 14 days for $14, you guys can still buy it. I would highly suggest it. It's worth $40,000. The stuff that came through and the tools and all of that. But there's something that he does. I did molecular infusion yesterday. By the way, how did you guys like that? So some of you have never experienced that before. I want to know how you guys liked molecular infusion, how you felt, what you noticed after. I waited to listen to Dane to play. Aw, thank you, Victoria. No caffeine yet. I went to bed about 4, so new lamps for old. Yes, I love that. Bonjour, Sophie. Très belle fête de Pâques. I'm thinking it has to do with Happy Easter. Wendy, I've been catching up on your live videos. That's awesome. Wendy, what are you learning? I'm so excited to see you. You're so cute. Hi. Wendy was in Live Your Magic Toronto. If you saw yesterday's Wendy, we had like a couple people from Toronto's Live Your Magic, and I did a little molecular infusion. Magic resurrects that which we have thought dead or disappeared. I froze. Oh no. Roseanne, hi! Riding the Phoenix at this time, and resurrection themes have been with me also. Beautiful. So, let's see if I unfroze. I mean, it's good to know when I freeze, but I can't do anything about it, really. AC was your Morpheus. That's actually true in a certain way, Merritt. How perceptive of you. Hi, Kaylee. Good morning. Okay. Yes, the miracles you've been part of. Yeah, connected to, part of. Yes. Reach your arms out, invite and receive what is beyond us. The butterfly effect. Yes. Permutations of possibilities and universes. So ask and choose. Ooh, you are waxing poetic today, Victoria. Carol, you're back. I love the no small magic. I believe there is no such thing as a small victory either. Yes, because if you actually become present and you're willing to be all that you are, right? Any moment can be miraculous magic. Any moment, right? So for some of you guys, I want to do this. I don't even know. Okay, today, normally I can, my hair is atrocious. My goodness. What was I going to say? So there's this thing that I do with drinks, and in Access they have a process called DMMD, which is demolecular manifestation, molecular demanifestation, and it's basically a way to play with molecules to change them and to ask molecules to change. So with a drink, right? Let's say a glass of wine that tastes off, you can go DMMD, run, and it will literally change the glass of wine. I was doing these tricks on the set of The Awakening Giants last year. I freaked out one of the participants. She goes, I don't really like wine. I said, why? She goes, I just don't really like the taste. I said, well, why don't you make it taste? She goes, and I wish I could, and blah, 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 and everybody has wine with dinner. And I said, but you can change the taste. And she's very like a practical person. And so I did DMMD on her wine, and she drank it. She goes, you're a witch. It was awesome. But, the molecular infusion that I did yesterday, I do in drinks. Oftentimes do them in alcohol drinks, because alcohol drinks are very much about chemistry, right? Of mixing certain things together, certain spirits, if you will, together. But you can do it with anything. You could do it with your latte. And basically, I use molecular infusion because that's my little signature, but you can do DMMD or you can try that energy. And what I do is I infuse the molecules of the drink with my intention, whatever that is. So then it could be the intention to, okay, what do I want to do today? Okay, so I'm going to infuse my drink with a blessing for the planet and all of you to resurrect the magic that you truly be. And then me too. And me too. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting that energy in this drink. Now let's see if I can. Putting that energy in here. I'm using my molecular infusion. Can you guys feel? And so, here's the thing is that if you're attuned to energy, you can feel these slightly different vibrations that come in. And that's like adding salt or adding sugar, a pinch of this or a pinch of that to a recipe. It's like something came in, something was turned on that changed the energy of the thing, right? And it often can taste different or better or what have you. But so because we're chemistry, your energy can influence the molecules. And then when you drink it, the molecules come into your body and it fuses with your body with that intention. Well, how fun is that? Like just bringing a little presence to a little drink, you can turn it into magic. See, it's practical, it's small, but it's fun. Like every time I go to dinner, like everybody, I'll sit down, our drinks come, and whoever I'm sitting with, even if they're not really magical per se, they'll like push their drinks over to me so that I can do this, and everyone, I'm like, you guys can do it, And so sometimes I have them do their own drinks, but I like to have me do it because I get so into it. Probably they're humoring me. I don't know, but but I believe that I can feel that the moment changed when I added the energy to the drink, and then I drank it. So, given that I have not had an entire latte today, I cannot commit to you that I will follow all the threads I started. Normally, if you've been around long, I meander all over the place, but I generally come back to the different threads. So if there's a thread that you'd like me to come back to, please let me know, because I may have lost it. Just saying. But where was I? Something. I don't even know. You know what? I'm gonna read your comments and see if that triggers me back. You were resurrected in Maui. Huh. Marion, tell me about that. You've never said that to me before. What do you mean by that? Yes, awesome 14 days, wasn't it? Yes. Oh, thank you, Roseanne. Okay, this was one of the threads. So in the 14 days, Dane did his an ESC, which is energetic synthesis of communion, which is one of the energies he plays with. And he had us go into the earth and actually wake up the beings, the elementals, the creatures, the fairies and the dragons and the gnomes and all the beings that we don't even know or have names for yet. By the way, if you're in Live Your Magic or Imprinting for Riches or Creating with Kindness, I have posted 2 pictures for you to color that are beings that Carolyn Morris channeled that are coming in. And that's one of the things that her magic is. She brings beings in from other places through her art. And she and I are collaborating on a deck called the Ringmaster's deck. But and if you want these images, please PM me, because I haven't asked her if I can post them publicly yet. I've just posted them in groups. But we're asking people to color them. And what happens when we color something, right? We bring it to life. We bring the picture to life. So she made a couple of the beings in a coloring book format with lines so that you can color them in. I think it's freaking genius, because when we bring our presence and attention to something, we literally resurrect it, we animate it. And this is really true. I talked about this before on this series, where magic is brought to life by our consciousness. One of the reasons why there didn't appear to be a lot of magic for a long time is we literally left that world and came into the rational world. It's sort of like we left the Garden of Eden. Oh, don't get me started on that metaphor. And when we withdrew our consciousness from these mythical creatures, they stopped having sort of a force or an energy or a life force here. And that's really true of magic. If you withdraw your attention from it, it becomes less real. It becomes less accessible because it's actually your presence and your consciousness that activates it. Hello, it's not that there's no magic. It's just that you gotta wake up and drink the coffee. I crack myself up. I really do. Thanks for having coffee on Easter Sunday with me, you guys. I'm so loving that you're here and engaging in this conversation because I really believe there's a lot of conversations going, but I believe that this conversation is especially special, not in a significant way, but I really believe that in this great uncovering that is on our planet right now, that magic is rising. We're just giving it freaking more room and space, and so it can rise. And we don't have our linear maps in the same way. We don't have our routines, and so there's actually magic is stronger, and it's asking us to connect with it, not just on the macro, but in the micro inside of us. Magic is rising. And so every moment that you choose to bring presence is potentially a moment of magic, a moment of mystery, a moment of potential miracle. And how does it get better than that? Truly and really, right? So, how can you, so every molecule has consciousness. The freaking fridge has a level of molecules and consciousness and intelligence. It's just vibrating differently than, the consciousness, say, of a human or a pet or what have you, or this drink right here, right? So we can connect to molecules of everything and the consciousness of everything. The more present we are, the more we can wield the tools of the alchemist, of the creator, of being a creator, right? And that's how we take the most mundane of experience and actually extrapolate or touch the magic in it all, in every single part. Okay, so oh, there's something today with that. Oh, Victoria, I did not know. Thank you. Resurrection is an unlocking of possibility, like rolling the stone away from the tomb, opening a reality. Becky, that's beautiful. That resurrection daily, right? We get to get every day we resurrect from the wherever we go at night. We go, oh, hi. And all of our cells have resurrected a certain way too. Like the cells replenish and regenerate through that sleep process. So yes, every day. And then every day we have the possibility of resurrecting some consciousness, some energy every single day. How cool is that? What if every day was Easter Sunday and we were just resurrected all over the place? Love, Margaret. I love you, Margaret. All my years was standing when I saw the infusion in your. All my hairs were standing when you saw the infusion. Makes me so happy. I love that. Hair, yes. DMMD, thanks for writing. Let us resurrect all dying and dead parts of our magic and capacities today. And everything that doesn't allow that, can we uncreate and destroy it? The thing that I'm really, really loving about these lives is your interaction, because to me, as a facilitator, like, I'm not really a teacher. If you actually hear me, I'm not like an eloquent speaker, so to say. My genius, my magic is in the chemistry of the interplay with you all, right? Whether I'm in a classroom, whether I'm doing a live, like that engagement and like having your magic come out and having your beautiful words come out and your ideas and playing and tapping them and feeling them and like, whoa, how cool is that? That's the fun for me. Okay, let us resurrect all dying and dead parts of our magic capacities today. Wow. And everything that doesn't allow that, can we uncreate and destroy it? Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, boy, shorts, you beyond. So if you don't know what that means, go to theclearingstatement.com. It's a way of clearing. It's from Access Consciousness. Let us resurrect. So what energy, what space, what consciousness can we in our bodies be to resurrect all dying and dead parts of our magic and capacities today? With ease and fun and joy and glory and everything that doesn't allow that, let's uncreate and destroy it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and yeah. Okay, so I'm getting something's coming in. Something's coming in. Woo-hoo. Okay, so I want you to ask, and thank you for this. Thank you for this invitation, Roseanne. I want you to ask, what capacity in your body is asking to be resurrected? And just sense where that is. You know, is it on your shoulder? Is it in your back? Is it your hips? Is it your thighs? You know. So interesting to me. This is just another side note because I don't have enough threads open right now. It's interesting to me, especially as women, how we are taught to judge our bodies. Because what happens in judgment is separation. And if we're separate from our bodies, how can we activate? We're withdrawing our consciousness from our bodies, right? So it's very interesting to me. I believe there's something really profound about the female body. And trust me, I've been fighting with that shit from the beginning because I don't know. I've been a pirate a lot and I've been a boy a lot. And so there's this, what is this? What are these hips? What are these boobs? What do they do? Why do I have them? It's like, ah. And anyway, and there's a power in our bodies, and I don't mean to exclude men, because there's a power that men have and that their bodies have. I love men's bodies, by the way. It's like, you're so strong. You have muscles. When I get friends with guys, that they know that it's all over because I get to touch their hair and I get to touch their beard, and like I'm fascinated, you know. And there's something very potent in the female body, because if you think about it, the female body can give birth, right? It can grow a thing. It can grow life. How freaking cool is that? What if that's the least of the female body's miracles? Just saying. I don't know. Remember, these days, there's no rules in alchemy in the experiment phase. We're just experimenting. I'm just asking, what if that is the least of the miracles of the female body? And wouldn't it behoove the powers that be in the structured, you know, society to have a woman disconnect from that power so that she can access that power and probably change consciousness in the world with it, right? So let's bring our consciousness back to an area of your body that you withdraw consciousness from. So, okay. So, you know, I'll tell myself, like, when I look in the mirror, I will hardly ever look at my hips. Like, I'll like, nope, don't want to see. I don't want to, like, in part because I know I judge them and I don't want to see my own judgments about myself. Probably not mine anyway, but whatever. So what am I doing with that is I'm separating from myself. I'm withdrawing my consciousness away from that which could animate and come to life and be power. Right? I think hips are very powerful, actually. I like hips. I just have had a little fight with mine for most of my life. So I'm going to work with my hips today. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to put your hands on that place on your body that you have withdrawn your attention from. Okay? And where you've withdrawn the energy from. And I want you to say, what magic is here? What magic is asking to be resurrected? What capacities are asking to be activated here? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC. My voice shorts and beyond. What energy, what space, what consciousness can me and my body be? To be present with my hips. To ask for the activation of the consciousness of my hips and the capacities therein. So I feel a tingling. What do you guys feel? What do you guys feel? Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna go down and see. And source field elimination of toxic amalgams from yes. Welcome. Oh, hi, Shireen. Maruna, you're back. Hi. We feel it. If I do it, I don't what? If you do what, you don't get drunk. Like Tinkerbell. Full presence in my body. Now that you're talking body stuff about my child called judgment. Wow. Yes. And here's the thing. I think this is a little thing I've discovered recently. You feel a ton of energy in that area. In the energy of your hips or what area? The area you're touching, whatever that is, right? Okay. So, let's see. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh no. Powerful magic. Yes. Okay. So the way the way that is being shown to change that relationship is to love yourself, right? And to not have judgment and to release the judgment and all of that. I've never been able to really do that personally. So I'm just going to be really honest with you, but Merit, a lot of what where the kindness program came from was that because I had this awareness one day, like, oh, like I'm sitting there trying to force myself through and over my judgments to love my body. And then I don't remember how it all came down, but then I realized it's like, well, that doesn't even really matter because your body loves you. And if you just shut up for a minute and let it contribute to you and let yourself receive from your body, it will begin to change that dynamic. And it has for me. And what I've come to is that I don't have to try to love my body and not judge my body because those things of like, I don't know, I feel like they've been in me for so long and they are getting less through this process, but I'm using kindness. I'm just like, okay, I don't have to accept or love my body, but I can be kind to it. And I'm learning to be kind to it. And I'm learning to be more gentle with it. And I'm learning to be present with it. And just having kindness for my body is creating it so that I can be more present with it. My self-care has shifted like huge since this kindness program actually. And if you guys don't know this about me, I create programs for myself and then I invite you to play with me. Because this is how I explore is I explore with people, like, oh, what can we learn about? And there's things that I know, and there's things that I've experimented in. What do you know? And that's why I'm asking you guys to do this experiment, to literally now infuse wherever you're touching, infuse it with kindness. Would you be willing to infuse with kindness this part of the body? And wow, dudes, did you feel that? It's like activating like so much more. Oh, we're playing with this in kindness today, boys and girls. The transmutative quality of kindness, and that is my premise in the kindness program, is that kindness has a transmutative quality. By the way, I'll find a way to put the link here, but I took one of the things, there was 2 parts of kindness. There's kindness part 1 and the one we're in right now, which is unleashing your superpowers, kindness part 2. I've closed registration, but if you're on this and you're getting this, you could probably catch up with us and you can PM me about joining. But I took one of the things that I'm doing in both programs is I'm doing daily audio infusions of about 5 minutes. So I took the 30 audios from the part 1, which is a 30-day program, and I made them into their own product, and it's only $30. So I'll put the link in here because you guys can get a sense of that program through those audios, and each of those audios is an alchemical experience. Some of them I do meditation, infusion, transmission, whatever you want to call it, activation, energygram. That's my new word, hashtag energygram, copyright here. But it will give you an experience of what I'm talking about. But Merritt, I want to come back to what you said, is what if you let your body love you? Because your body is an animal, it's animate, and we kill it by withdrawing our attention. And we withdraw our attention through judgment. That's why we withdraw our attention. Okay. So when we bring our attention back to the body, we begin to resurrect it. We begin to bring it back to life. We bring and breathe energy and presence back into it. And we can all resurrect our own bodies, which is filled with magic. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Amy is here. Hi, Amy. You might have been in that class where I realized I resurrected bodies. I have 2 areas that popped, tingling in each, and then energy pulsing between them. Beautiful. That's a really awesome energy technique to take, to put your hand on 2 different areas of the body and let them talk to each other. So what areas of your body don't talk? So for me, I sometimes have a difficult time connecting my heart with my sexual energy. So like I can put my hand on my heart and my hand on my second or first chakra and ping the energy back and forth. And what am I doing there? I'm creating a bridge. Here's an alchemical thing. Energy goes where attention flows, or energy flows where attention goes. Energy flows where attention goes. So if you put your attention from one hand to the other, you ping them, and you start creating a track, a connection point, a bridge, and those 2 parts can start talking better. So a lot of people, I'm one of them, have, and this is probably, well, not probably, because I've judged my lower half so much, I have what I call a top bottom split, where the top of my body looks very different than the bottom of my body, right? And so like talking, allowing those energies to talk, and they kind of balance out and they start like looking like the same body, as it will. Some people have a left-right split, right? So just there's so much we can play with regards to resurrecting the body and the capacities in the body. So thank you, Roseanne, for that really beautiful message that opened this whole conversation up. See, this is alchemy in action. Like I'm talking to you when things are coming through, but then one of you says something and I go, whoa, right? And with Merit, with the judgment, with your body, you brought up this just by saying it, just by saying your question. This question and conversation is an alchemical process where we're tapping consciousness of one another. Spaciousness, beautiful. What magic's asking you to be? We wake and acknowledge the body. Your area. Awesome. Okay, laughing my ass off. Feeling sexual. Awesome. Amy, second chakra. What did you say? Teacher teaches what they want to learn. Teacher does. Teacher's not teaching. Teacher's facilitating. I love that you create for you and invite playmates. Yeah, I do. It's really fun. That's why, I mean, people really, I've gotten feedback that people love to watch me like sort of go, oh my God, this just in, because I'm getting, I'm learning with you because I'm a channel. And so like the things that are coming through are for me too, right? Having been trying to be kind to my boobs, haven't quite fully managed it. Yes, because you think they're supposed to look a certain way. That is a map, Marianne, that keeps you from the magic of what your breast could be. Oh, I don't know if I want to tell this story. I was in a coffee shop, right? And I ran into a friend, and she was there with a friend, and this friend was launching this new business of sexy lingerie made from men's underwear. And she's one of the models of her own business. And she's like, I feel like my boobs need to be just a little bit bigger to model the underwear or whatever. And I was like, I can help you with that. Who says that? I don't know this person from Adam. I don't know that I can help her, but I do. It just came through, right? And she goes, great. And so I literally just put my hands in the line of the coffee shop. Yes, I did. Put my hands on her boobs. And I just did a version of DMMD, which I mentioned earlier in this thread. And I heard word that 2 weeks later, her boobs grew one size. So this is I could do that. Like I haven't been able to do that in my own body per se. I've been able to help other bodies do different things like that because I don't have any point of view about it. I don't have any point of view about the size or what size she wants them to be, or I don't have in order to change something, truly change it, you have to have no point of view about it. So that's why the judgments we have of our bodies makes it so we can't change it. It's like it keeps us in separation, and it keeps us from being able to commune our presence enough to actually engage the alchemy to create the change. So what if it wasn't about how your boobs looked or anything else? What if it's just about being kind with them? Just like, hi boobies. Nothing about how they look. What if you didn't try to make how they look okay? See, that's the other thing. It's like, that's another judgment. It's like, so it's like, I gotta quit judging my boobs. I don't like how they look. And then we kind of try to do this override thing. And what if you just were kind to them and said, hi, thanks for feeding my kids. Thanks for being, and as you've learned in the kindness program, kindness is not a thought. It's not a doing. It's an energy.